Hi everybody, it's another week of comics with me, Ghost Critic, and it was a bit of a weird week this week for comics. Definitely kind of split almost in half how I felt about the titles I picked up this week. The first half, not bad comics, but kind of meh. They were okay. And then the second half were just like blew me away. They were really, really good. So let's start off with the ones that kind of were like, okay. Catching up from last week because he didn't have it. He messed his order up, but hey, that's what happens. It is Amazing Spider-Man and it's the 679.1 issue. Great cover. Best thing about this comic, to be fair. I love the blue background that melds into Spider-Man's costume, just leaving the little webbing under his armpits and just the red and the black. Very, very nice. As for the story, right, let's get this right. Point One Comics, they are there as a jumping on point for a new reader. I'm sure we can all agree on that. This is not a jumping on point. This is just a standalone story, and it's not even that great a story, and it's no coincidence that, you know, Slott was probably only the co-writer on here. We've got Yost on the top, so he's the lead writer, so the writing certainly did dip for me, my pleasure of it this week. Few things, okay. We've got this kid called Uatu Jackson. Now, I'm guessing and I'm assuming Uatu, it's a nod to the Watcher of Marvel, you know, the Fantastic Four, all that. I'm guessing that's a little bit of a nod. And he is the narrator for this issue. All set in the lab where all these geniuses and Peter Parker work. And it just wasn't exciting enough, and it should have been. Again, I don't know. The whole reveal of who's in Lab 6, did we already know that? I've only just really jumped back on about a year ago with Amazing Spider-Man with the last Point One issue. So I always thought the guy or girl in Lab 6 was a real big secret, and I thought when we found out it was going to be this amazing revelation, and it just turned out to be Michael Morbius, the living vampire. I thought that kind of was a bit drippy, to be honest. Wasn't impressed at all. There's a huge fight scene, all misunderstandings as these fight scenes often can be. The jokes, the quips weren't even particularly funny. When Slott does it, they're snappy. They at least make me smile when I read them. Occasionally they will make me giggle a little, if not laugh out loud, but I got nothing. I was like, yes, that's a joke there, that's a joke there, but it's not doing it for me. This is a shame. I mean, it has been solid forever. I'm so surprised I'm saying this about Amazing Spider-Man. I think this is really just a filler issue until we get Ends of the Earth, this big 50th anniversary storyline that they're building now. Certainly not a jumping on point, just a normal kind of average storyline for Amazing Spider-Man. Oh, the Batman The Dark Knight issue 6, and I mean the cover alone, complete homage to Nightfall and the Broken Bat. And we really should have seen this coming, should we not? It just dawned on me halfway through reading this that this really is just a retelling of Nightfall without the back breaking. yes, you know, Batman has gone through this gauntlet of his villains who have been all pumped up with this fear toxin that has now the venom, a derivative of the venom in it as well, which is making them, you know, super big and that. And I was just stupid. I must have been so stupid not to realise this. Anyway, yeah. Oh, there's so much wrong with the art. Oh, there's so much wrong. I used to like David Finch's artwork. I really did. But it is just all over the place here. I'm not reading Superman. I've never been a big Superman fan. I've never collected them. You know, I've read a few trades here and there that I might have borrowed out the library or someone's lent me, but he's never interested me at all. But looking at how he's drawn here, he seriously looks like a 12-year-old boy's head has been planted on this huge muscle man guy. It looks terrible. And it's worse because there's this huge kind of splash page of it, and it's just wrong. It doesn't look nice at all. I know people have been, you know, saying to me, why am I still picking this up if I think it's this terrible? The thing is, the storyline probably could have been good, and I've been hoping it gets good. And I'm not one for giving up on a title unless it is completely dire. And I don't think it's reached direness just yet, but it's so close. If, you know, this story arc, I mean, we're in issue 6 and this first story arc still hasn't finished. So, by the end of the storyline, unless, you know, Finch and Jenkins pull something really big to finish this off, this title off, this story arc, this could look, at the end of this first story arc, binned, I'll be looking elsewhere. The weakest Bat title of them all, in my opinion, not recommended at all. If you're thinking of getting a Bat title, this is not the one. Surprised to be saying this. This is on my pile, unfortunately. And again, another title I would never have thought I'd say this about. It's issue 22 of Uncanny XForce. Excuse me. Now, the reason for this is, it's not the storyline. It is not Remender's writing. It is a great story, but it is being suffocated by what I've now considered to be just terrible artwork. Ticini and White, I don't know what, they can really handle the big panels, and this very painted, thick black outlines works beautifully. You know, that first issue, the first part of this story arc, when you first saw Otherworld, and there was that huge big battle scene, it did look fantastic, and I just thought, this is artwork I could really get on board with. It looks nice. But then when you get to those smaller panels, it doesn't work in any way, shape or form. And it just puts the reader off completely. The characters have no shape to them, in a sense that, you know, they're characterless. You get no expressions on their face. And it's just very off-putting. It's one of those issues and storylines where it's now all about the story for me. And I am purely trying to concentrate on Remender's writing and ignoring the artwork completely, because he is writing a really interesting, exciting story. And that's the only thing that's exciting me at the moment, and it's such a shame. Uncanny X-Force has been top of my pile for, well, since it started. It's always been the one I've headed to go to at the top of the pile. But this, now it's just like, oh, we need a different change of artist here. Anyone but these two, sorry. Anyway, that's the okay-ish, fine, whatever. Let's get on to the goodies. Bulletproof Coffin, Disinterred, 2 of 6. Oh, I love these two. David Hine and Shaky Kane. They just traverse different genres of like the comic book world so easily, and you know, it's just a joy to read. Last issue we had kind of a cop drama. This issue, you know, if you love all those kind of early 70s anthology kind of horror comics, then this is what you get here. It starts off, what you have is our guy here, the jazz hipster, and he's introducing all these stories, all the characters that tell the stories. There are 3 encapsulated horror stories. They are horrific in the only way that David Hine and Shaky Kane can do, and they are fantastic. Sure, it doesn't have the finesse of, you know, those early 70s Bernie Wrights and all those guys who did the early horror comics from like Marvel and DC, but what it lacks in finesse, it more than makes up for in just exciting, horrific in a good way, scrappy artwork. It's just this vivid, colourful, exciting tour de force of visual goodness. Oh, I tell you what, pick this up. It's thoroughly recommended. If you didn't pick up the original Bulletproof Coffin series, go and get the trade. It's very similar to this in style and in genre hopping, but it is just beautiful to behold. Pick this up, highly recommended. Issue 6, it's Wolverine and the X-Men, and we pick up with Wolverine and Quentin Quire, Kid Omega, and they are gambling. They've gone out in space to go to like the biggest kind of casino in space to basically cheat. Cheat at gambling and get lots of money to fund the school. And it's just funny from start to finish. These two make such a good pairing. The banter that goes on between them both, I'm grinning from ear to ear while I'm reading it. On the flip side, we go back to Kitty Pryde and her kind of brood infestation pregnancy. And now we have all our X-Men inside Kitty fighting off the brood, keeping the bag, and basically keeping Kitty Pryde alive. But at the same time, while they're inside, remember the alien guy who's got all these fully fledged brood on chain? They've made it inside the school, and they are looking for their prey. And it's not who you think it was. We're not looking for Kitty here. It's someone else. And you can kind of see the reason why. If you were reading, it was Astonishing X-Men. It explains it a little bit better, and the reason why probably comes a little bit clearer. I won't spoil it for you, but if you were reading Astonishing X-Men, this probably would make a little bit more sense as to why the person he's after is who he's after. The artwork in this is fantastic. It's exciting, it's vibrant, it's action-packed. It's definitely a pick-up. This has been a great title, and I can only see it going from strength to strength in 2012. Now the DC, it's issue 6 of Justice League Dark, and this picked up a great deal. I felt it was particularly coasting over the last couple of issues, but this was a really good issue. This is properly bringing the team together, and despite the fact that they don't want to be together, Madame Xanadu has said, look guys, if you don't stick together, you know, the shit is going to hit the fan. You all need to stick together. You all need to work as a team, because otherwise it's basically the end of the world. And in pure John Constantine fashion, he just comes out with, you know, fine, you know, we'll be in this team, but surely we don't have to like each other. Because this is the great thing about Justice League Dark. Hardly any of these characters get on with each other. And I think that makes for the best kind of storyline and character progression. Because instead of just being all nicey nice with each other and getting on with each other and, oh, teamwork is so easy, these guys have so many issues with each other. And working as a team is going to be tough. Keeping this team together is going to be tough. And written correctly, written right, this is going to be an awesome title to continue reading. Certainly a great pickup. Finally, on to Morning Glories issue 16. And if ever there was a title that and I've said this over and over again, this is Lost. I'm sorry, this is the TV show Lost, but set in a school. We're now on the time travelling. It's confusing as hell. It's timelines crossing, people meeting, you know, going in the past, meeting people that they shouldn't be meeting. And you remember when Lost was really good for like the first 2 or 3 seasons, and then it just started getting crazy confusing. This is almost there, but it's still a whole lot of fun to read, and it's a comic that you have to reread, definitely. Centering on Casey, going back in the past with the teacher Hodge. It was an exciting, it was a dramatic issue. I'm loving this. I'm so loving this. And that's it for the comics this week. Seriously, of those 4, I can't pick a pick of the week. They were all just fantastic in their own right. So my picks of the week are Bulletproof Coffin Disinterred, Wolverine and the X-Men, Justice League Dark and Morning Glories. Go out and pick them all up. And that's it for this week. Just to let you know about things coming up. Ultimate Graphic Novel Collection. Yes, it was Spiderman. It's Birth of Venom series, collecting a number of amazing Spider-Man issues, but I'll get into that more once I've finished it, and I'll do my review show on that. As for viewers' choice for March, I've finally picked a book from your video recommendations over the past few weeks or so. And Agent Fortitude Q, I'm calling you. Matt had a great video about the guys, the Luna Brothers, and he got me so interested in this. It's called Girls, it's from Image. It's a thick book. This collects 24 issues, so I've got one hell of a read in store for me for March, so don't expect a review for this till quite late. And that's me out. As always, if this is your first time, up there somewhere is a subscribe button. Hit it so you know every time I bring a video out. Down there's a nice thumbs up. We like thumbs up. Thumb it up. Thumb it up. And even below, there's a comment box to leave all sorts of comments. If you disagreed with my comics of the week, then tell me why. Tell me what I was missing. Pick of the weeks I couldn't pick. Could you? Put it all down there. I'm out of here. Till next week. Goodbye.